Alrighty, folks. Welcome back to another great episode here. We've got the top 100 board games of all time, the 2026 edition. This is number 70 down to 61. And to do it all with me is Phoenixknight. How are you tonight, sir?
Tired as you can probably imagine, but I'm here somehow and still up.
Yes, very good. Very good. You had quite a busy day yourself. You didn't even take a nap or anything.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, I was in the emergency room yesterday, but I'm all better today, or feeling a lot better today. I've been having a couple weeks of issues and sickness and issues, so I'm just hopefully over that hump now. So maybe I can energize you into greatness tonight.
Well, one of us has to be energized. I don't usually do high energy.
It's only 8 o'clock. It's not bedtime yet. You got another hour before it's bedtime.
No, give me time.
Let's turn on the chat here and just see if anyone's stopped in. I don't think anyone's stopped in yet. All right. I have been looking at this little list of games that I've got coming on for you tonight. Number 70 down to 61. And you didn't send me your list from last week, so we're going to have to do this. I have to do this the hard way. So let's talk about what we did last week. Now, my number 80 last week was Thunderstone. Awesome deck building game.
My number 80 was the Plum Island Horror by GMT.
My number 79 was Stratomatic Baseball, a game that I think you should try a few more times. You might like it.
We'll swallow comments on that. My number 79 was Tally Ho by Historic Wings.
My number 78 was Flashpoint South China Sea, a Twilight Struggle light game,
which I've had my own reactions to. My number 78 was Undaunted 2200 Callisto by Osprey Games.
My number 77 was the Coin System by GMT and all the games that encompass that.
Mine was Inside the Crease Hockey.
My number 76 was G.I. Joe, the deck building game.
My number 76 was Space Corp by GMT, down 33 spots.
My number 75 was Grand Austria Hotel. Awesome game.
My number 75 was Machina Arcana by Adrena Games.
My number 74 was Wolfpack, the North Atlantic Convoy, down 2 spots.
My number 74 was down 28 spots, Mag 23 Guadalcanal, also by Historic Wings.
My number 73 was a great civilization game called Nations.
My number 73 leans into alternate history with America Bomber, Evil Queen of the Skies by Compass Games.
My number 72 was also the Plum Island Horror. Second time this week we talked about it.
My number 72 was Tiger Leader by DVG.
And my number 71 was the legendary Alien deck building game.
My number 71 was Expeditions by Stonemeyer Games.
We got Philip in the chat. Hello, Philip. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey,
Hope
Philip.
you're staying warm out there, everyone. And I know it's been a rather interesting weather weekend for everyone out there. So I'm sure you guys are getting hammered up there.
Well,
Probably been not doing much.
Well, it's been fairly cold up here. It's quiet. At least it's above 0 tonight.
That's good. Well, at least you got power. I know there's like a million people without power. So I was a little worried tonight you weren't going to show up because you didn't have power.
Well, I think the only thing it's been today is cold. There was a little bit of snow earlier this morning, but otherwise it's been relatively quiet since.
Lower Slower is in the house. Hello there. Good to see Lower Slower in the house. All right, so we're starting with our number 70. You started last week. I guess I'll start this week to keep things going. My number 70 is a game by GMT. It's a brand new one to 2025. It was just released. It is, I need to share my screen over here, don't I? My number 70 is a game called The Gist of Robin Hood. It is a great, very coin light kind of game where you're putting lots of pieces on the board and playing different cards and trying to outmaneuver and um, outpoint your opponent. It's got a very interesting scoring system, though. It's like a teeter totter. You basically you can see here on the left hand side. It starts on the one side, and whichever side that piece ends up at the end of the game is the winner. Doesn't matter how far up or down it is. You can auto win if you ever get it up to 7 on your side, but it's very cool because you're just trying to manage that little piece and just push it over to your side just a little bit. Cards and artwork is great. It gives you that really cool, that old Robin Hood type feel, and it's just a great game. A Gist of Robin Hood by GMT Games.
I never got a chance to play this one. Not sure it's going to be my cup of tea anyway.
We should try it sometime. You never know. I played this with Cardboard Commander and totally decimated him. He was no, I'm just teasing. Obviously, I won, but it wasn't a total decimation. I think my little pawn ended up winning, but it was great. Again, it's designed to be a 2-player game. So if you have somebody that's a good friend of yours, and you can, have fun with it.
Well, my number 70 game you're probably going to think is blasphemy. It's down 30 spots from last year. This one is a comic book battler by a company that you're probably pretty fond of. This one is Sentinels of the Multiverse. I guess, relax. You got to remember what I mentioned last week, that there's a lot of good stuff coming on my list, and some of these games are getting pushed down incidentally. But yes, you do take on the identity of a comic hero in the Sentinel Comics universe, taking on a villain in whatever environment you're going into. Now, the obvious comparison people are going to draw to is Marvel Champions. And while Sentinels of the Multiverse is good for like a starter point, I guess one of the problems I have with Sentinels is it's essentially a WYSIWYG game. And what I mean by that is what you see is what you get, which for a starting point is good. But when you want to start exploring customization, it's not as good for that. Like if you want to play, say, Legacy as more offensive or Wraith as a little more defensive, you don't necessarily have that option available to you. Whereas in something like Marvel Champions, it's a lot easier to do that customization option where you can play around with the different heroes and some of the different modes. But my number 70, Sentinels of the Multiverse.
I will not say bad words about you. 6 inches of snow, and we've had rain since about 11 o'clock. And I know he lives up in the Delaware region, so I'm glad you got power tonight there, Lower Slower. Yeah, there's a lot of people without power. That's for sure. Yes, I can't argue with anything you said. With obviously your feelings are your feelings, and I can't change your feelings, but I could counter them, which we will do at some point during my list. Okay, my number 69 is a great game. And it's was 130 last year. I just didn't get around to playing it. 2 years ago it was 130. And then in 2025, this is one of these games I said, I got to play this game a few more times because it's a really good game. It's a boxing game. And, I'm just not that into boxing, but the game is so good. It's Glory Days Boxing. And it's made by a good friend of the channel, Anthony. We've talked about his Glory Days football, Glory Days college football, and we love those games. And the boxing is just as good of a game system. and I think it's it's one of these hidden gems. Not a lot of people play it or know about it. You can get it out, play it, learn it really quickly, and there's a ton of variety, ton of different characters, a ton of different weight classes, and all the different boxers are out there, and anyone you could possibly think of. And Anthony is a boxing guy. This is his first game, his first love, and I think it definitely is a great addition to any boxing fan's repertoire. Glory days, boxing.
Admittedly, I'm not a big boxing fan either, but I do enjoy this one. Anyway, my number 69 game is probably going to look familiar if you were around the channel because I played this one this morning. This is second season pro football by Play Games. Now, I normally don't go for we were just talking in the green room, Jester and I were, about my relationship with tabletop football, and it's always been a little bit, what's the word I want? Touchy, I think, is the word I want. Especially a lot of the full play games. But this game really gives a lot of that narrative that I really like in games. And yes, there's that N word again, narrative, where it helps you tell the story of what's going on in the game. And it actually involves everybody in a way that actually really makes it conducive to telling that story, unlike with something like, say, APA football, where you've got the sprawling mess of cards in front of you. And I'm not dumping on APA football. I'm just making a comparison there. But my number 69 game, second season football by Play Games.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites, and we might see this. Well, let's see. Will we see this one again or not? I can't remember. Let me look at my list again. Mm-hmm. I won't spoil anything. All right. My number 68 is one of the all-time greatest games in the history of board games. I swear that this game I'm going to talk about has sold over 10 million copies, and it's gotten probably half of the people into board gaming alone. What game am I talking about? I'm talking about Ticket to Ride. It is the game that most board gamers get when they start getting into board gaming, and it's probably one of the most played games in all time history of board game. It's very quick, it's very simple. You can play this with 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 80-year-olds, and they can all understand how to play it. There is a ton of variety. There is tons and tons of different maps you can pick up and expand. It's just the game that you get when you're getting into board gaming, and you should have a copy of this if you call yourself a board gamer because it is so good. My number 68, Ticket to Ride.
I guess I'm not a real board gamer then because I don't have a copy of Ticket to Ride.
First of all, you done screwed me with Sentinels of the Multiverse, and now you're not. Next year, I'm going to have to find someone else to do this list with.
I've only played Ticket to Ride a couple times. I'm not a big train guy, honestly.
Why is that? Admittedly, you don't like the puzzle. You don't like the puzzly nature. You're more of a narrative guy than a puzzle guy.
Probably.
You don't like it when somebody puts down their track and, oh no, I wanted to go there. Now I can't go there anymore.
Well, like I said, not a big train guy. Anyway.
I mean, I can understand that. I've got 4 or 5 different train games and I love them all. And they are different. They are for sure.
My number 68 game is another one by Play Games, and they've actually made quite a splash, as you probably have gathered on the list. This one is actually a wrestling game, surprisingly. I've been a fan of wrestling for quite a few years. This one is Face to the Mat Pro Wrestling by Play Games. It's all based on fictional characters because Play obviously can't play doesn't want to bring wrestlers like Triple H and all of that stuff in for copyright issues, which I can completely understand that. You've got the TV grades, you've got grudge grades that really help you tell the story. And if you've been around my channel, I've been doing some stress testing for another project I'm working on. And I've been playing with different match stipulations in there and how to bring them into Face to the Mat. Of the 3 wrestling simulators that I've played around with, I think this is probably the easiest one, I feel like, to bolt on any kind of house rules. Like if I want to bolt on something like a Hell in a Cell, like a War Games, submission matches, last man standing, stuff like that. To me, it seems it seems to me it's the easiest to do in Face to the Mat Pro Wrestling. You've got the scratch cards also that you can use to track the ratings, allies, all of that. My number 68, Face to the Mat Pro Wrestling by Play Games.
I'm glad you enjoyed that one. I know I sent you my Fishinger wrestling game, and I was hoping that maybe you'd like that one, and maybe you did. We'll have to see later on down the list, but I enjoy the wrestling, but I just don't have the time to like create a whole federation and tag teams, and even when I watched wrestling back in the 90s, it was like 5 or 10 guys I knew, and that was it. So I bought a lot of the Fishinger stuff, sent it to you because I knew you were a big wrestling guy, and I thought maybe you can get more out of it than I got out of it. So
I think I'm probably running into a lot of the same problems that you were, just don't have the time to do anything with it, like building the federation. I think a lot of the tag teams are going to come organically anyway. And thanks for the kind words on that, Philip.
Yeah, you do a good job at that. And that's a good one. Good to see. All right, my number 67, we're moving right through this week, is a brand new one to the list. It came out in 2025. It is a alternate variation of a game that I love, the Wingspan system, and they expanded it and changed it into Finspan, which is all about sea creatures and diving down into the depths and putting your different fishies in the different areas, creating schools of fish. Each of the fish has their own special powers and abilities, just like any Wingspan game. So it's an engine building game that you're using, that you're building as you progress, trying to activate different columns and get different abilities on all the fish. That'll kind of be like, okay, this fish is going to help you do this and that. And as you progress through the game, it is completely different. It's not just a rehash of Wingspan, which was kind of good, but there's also some differences that they took out of Wingspan and didn't include it in this game. So it is different enough, but it is familiar enough if you're familiar with Wingspan that you can probably understand the general gist and pick this one up. My number 67 is Finspan. I almost said Wingspan too many times there. Finspan.
I tried Wingspan briefly, never got into it, so I've kind of avoided the span games since then.
Understandable.
Just not my cup of tea. My number 67 is actually a fairly simple game, and this one is the third straight new to the list game that we've had this year. This one is Horrified World of Monsters. I believe this one's by Ravensburger, I want to say. So in this game, you're taking control of a group of characters. That is, I think you got American Monsters there. You want?
Oh, which one did you get? Which one did you?
World of Monsters.
World Monsters. Okay.
Yeah. So let's make sure you get the right one. Should be Horrified. World of Monsters 2024. That's the one.
Okay.
So this one, you're in charge of a group of adventurers going around trying to defeat whatever various monsters you're taking on using the certain items. This one's got, of course, Cthulhu, the Sphinx, Jiangxi. I forget what all monsters are in there. I think the Yeti's in there too. But you're going around a town trying to defeat these monsters, and just again gathering the various items. Each of the monsters plays a bit differently, so you've got to deal with that as well. My number 67, Horrified World of Monsters.
Now, believe it or not, this Horrified, as you saw on the list, there's like 5 or 6 of them in the system now, has been in my cart like 3 or 4 times. I've been meaning to like buy a copy and check out the system, but every time for some reason it's one of the games that's like, oh, after I add all the games that I want to buy and it's like $187, I have to start cutting a few games, and it's always for whatever reason the game that gets cut. So I need to try it, and I think it would be really cool to play it, especially once you played one of the games. You can kind of play all of them.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of combine them all into different, I think they all combine as well, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah. So, and it's a fun, interesting game that plays in like an hour. It's not very hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully maybe one of these days. There's Cthulhu right there. It doesn't look very Cthulhu-like, does he?
No, he doesn't.
You need to add our big Cthulhu from Cthulhu Death May Die mini.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I'll be right back.
He's got a mini.
A mini is putting it mildly.
Oh my God.
That is the big giant Cthulhu statue from Cthulhu Death May Die with the epic episode Relay Rising. This is a mini.
Yeah, that's a mini. Yeah, I want to see you put that on that board.
I don't think that's going to end very well. Just a wild and crazy hunch on my part. I'll probably swallow the entire board.
That'd be a good one. That would be funny. My number 66, speaking of narrative games, this is a game I've put on the channel several times this year because I'm like, Phoenixknight is going to watch this game and he's going to buy this game immediately when he sees it. And for some reason, you keep thumbing your nose up at this game. It is Agents of Smersh. It is basically James Bond, the movie, but in adventure form. You have this book, and I'm not kidding you, this book is like 2,000 pages long, where every location you go to, you're rolling a random number and you're generating a random result as you are trying to progress through the game. And it's all the same interesting, cool things. You have a little story mode that tells you what's going on, and you're fighting bad guys and trying to track them down. And it's all, there we go. An assassin follows you to the down a makeshift dirt road in a Jeep. You can easily take him out, but you want to find out who he works for. You need to pass athletics +2, pass with driving, pass hiding in your Jeep. You hiding in a Jeep in a patch of bushes. You wait till he passes, then you ram into his side. The inertia sends him flying off your Jeep and over the hood, somersaulting into the back seat. You place your pistol in the nape of his neck. Who do you work for? And then go on to the next thing. Boom. So you have this narrative of what's going on, and that's just, like I said, that's just the one. You're following a British man in an airport when he lingers with 3 homeless kids. Hello, lassie, you hear him say as he hands them several bills. The kids walk by you and swipe your passport, then flee in 3 different directions. Test deception -1, pass with luck. You catch the kid with your passport, and then you resolve the clue that you're after. So there's just like all these different things that are happening. You got all these 1960 James Bond type trope characters running around. You have different dice. This is the one downside, I guess, that I don't like about the game as much, is you have these weird dice that you have to roll to get your results, and you're looking for a gun, and each one of the dice has got 1 in 6, 2 in 6, 3 in 6 chances of having a gun on it, and then you're also rolling this die, which can heal you or hurt you during the fight. So there's a little dice mitigation in the game, but it's super cool, super fun, and yeah, it's definitely a story-driven James Bond game called Agents of Smersh.
Doesn't look too expensive on Noble Knight if I end up wanting to track it down. But like I said, I'm trying not to churn through as many games this year as I have the last couple of years. I'm trying to be a bit more picky about that.
Yeah, look, 90 minutes, 1 to 4 players, just like that.
Anyway, my number 66 game is a crossover that I think you talked about Thursday, I think. This one is G.I. Joe, the deck building game.
Admittedly, my number 76.
Admittedly, I was never the biggest fan of G.I. Joe in the world, but this one actually is a pretty unique combination to me of deck building and dice rolling, where you gather up your squad, and occasionally the team is able to contribute agents to the mission as well. Roll the dice, go through a little bit of a story with it. It's a bit piecemeal, but you can piece it together easily enough, and definitely constantly changing priorities. My number 66 game, G.I. Joe, the deck building game.
What was it ranked last time?
This is actually a new game on my list.
Okay, all right. So for me, it fell down a little bit. It was number 34 and it went down to 76. I was just wondering how you felt about it. Is it same, higher, lower?
It's new on the list this year.
New on the list. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay. Yep. Definitely story. Definitely. It's definitely got some cool elements to it. For me, it's the dice and the solo mode. While it's fine, I don't think it's super cool. The artwork is awesome, though. Look at that. That's some great artwork there, huh?
Oh, that looks like older style art. That doesn't look like the art that we've got, that I know I've got.
All right. That is your number 60.
My 66.
Yep. All right. 65. I love my number 65 game. It is so cool and such an interesting idea. It is a game called Hit the Road. It's all about solo zombie survival, and you have to pick a path to go down, either the top, the middle, or the bottom. When you're playing solo, though, some of the cards are going to be face up, some are going to be face down. And you get bonuses or penalties based upon which path you go down, but you're trying to just go through 10 rounds and survive and have enough people make it to your destination. And it's just a quick, easy, simple game. You're spending resources to fire and kill the zombies you need to kill, or gasoline to speed away from the zombies, and you're basically trying to keep all your little meeples alive, and one of the meeples is actually your character, so if you lose that character, it's game over. And I love how there's like blood on the cards. They don't try to take themselves too seriously in this game. It's just a fun zombie game, and my number 65, Hit the Road.
Admittedly, got some push your luck elements to it, so it does help that it's a very small push your luck game, because push your luck and I don't usually get along too well.
I mentioned this would be on your list, though.
We won't touch that right now. What we will touch is my number 65 game, which is down 31 spots from 2024 when I last did this review. If you're familiar with Christmas in Arkham, you'll recognize this game, as for the last 4 years, I've run it as a play-in game for as I've run a tournament in this game to determine my opponent for Christmas in Arkham. You've played it this year. Pop quiz. Can you remember what it is?
Yes.
And you're not happy about the memory, are you? Anyway, my number 65 is Fate of the Elder Gods by Greater Than Games. This one's actually.
I couldn't think of the name. All I could think of was Final Hour, and I'm like, I know it's not Final Hour. I don't know why I couldn't think of Fate of the Elder Gods.
Well, this one's a switch because you actually switch and play as the cults loyal to the Ancient Ones, trying to get your Ancient Ones summoned. You're going around various locations on the board, and it's more of it actually seems to function a little bit better as a multiplayer game rather than a solo game. In fact, to the point where I had to do a fair bit of house ruling to make the solo mode work for tournament purposes, to be able to run this whole tournament in Fate of the Elder Gods like I have the last 4 years. So yeah, your goal is to get your Ancient Ones summoned. In my number 66 game, my number 65, I should say, Fate of the Elder Gods.
It's a neat game. I enjoyed it. I as we talked about, I just think it was just too many times just to get the Ancient One, which, I still think it's a neat game, and I think it ended up being my number 101 or something. Fate of the Elder Gods was 113, so it just made it out of the list. I think it's a great game, and I think would be better as a competitive 2-player or 3-player game, because a lot of the cards seem to be like, screw your opponent, take this away from them, put these guys, take some of the investigators and give it to them, which if you're playing solo, that a lot of that doesn't come into play. So I know you've had to house rule a lot of solo stuff there, but it still was fun, and I had a good time playing with you. And I was able to, you taught me how to play, and I was able to pick it up pretty decently. So it's not like a super hard game.
I was going to say it's not real difficult.
Christoph, what is going on? Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Hopefully you're all having a great evening. All right, my number, where are we? Number 64. My number 64. Every year, I pick a game at the start of the year, and I kind of focus in on that game, and I try to learn it and play it a few times throughout the year. And this year, I'm actually doing Hoplomachus Victorum. Hoplomachus Victorum. Last year, I did, in 2025, I did Darkest Night. And in 2024, I did a game called Apiary. So it was my number 30 game in 2 years ago, and then this year I didn't play it as much. I think I only played it once, maybe twice. It's a great game. It's another medium weight Euro game where you are a faction of bees, which is kind of different, and it's not your, it's a worker placement with your bees will evolve. You can see your little bees will turn from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And then they will evolve and go, and you will put them into your hive, and then you get some bonuses. There's all kinds of technologies you can learn, or different areas to expand out, and you're building your little tableau board up, which we haven't seen yet. It is a super cool game that, for some reason, just doesn't get a lot of press and a lot of love out there. I think it's an awesome game, and I really enjoyed this one. It's fallen down the list for me because obviously in 2024 it was my game of the year, game to learn of the year, not game of my favorite game of the year. It was my game to learn of the year in 2024. I played it like 5 or 6 times, In 2025, I think I only played it once or twice, so it's dropped down a little bit from number 30 down to 64. Apiary. Well, look at that variety. You get a ton and ton of pieces and parts, and I should say this because it's important, because most game manufacturers and most games nowadays, they put half the game in and then they make you buy the rest of the game with 2 or 3 expansions. In this game, the base game comes with 18 different factions to play. So just keep that in mind. And you can see, like, these are all the different tokens and cards that come in. So you don't get skimped out. You're not buying, you're not going to have to buy like 5 expansions just to finish the game, which is what they love to do nowadays. Sell you half the game and then sell you the other half in the expansions.
Always
so I wanted to mention that.
Always irritating when game companies do that.
Yeah. It's one of my pet peeves now.
Well, my number 64 game is a fairly sizable game, to put it mildly, that's very dominated by the main feature of the board. I thought it was going to be gimmicky at first, admittedly, but I think once you bring the app mitigation, bring the app integration in as well, I think everything works very well. This one is Return to Dark Tower by Restoration Games. Now, the goal in this game is to defeat basically the tower, essentially. You can play this game either competitively or cooperatively. You've got your 4 different kingdoms that you're trying to deal with. There are several different adversaries that come in with this one. Your soldiers essentially represent your health, and it's the combat mechanic is actually pretty unique in this game, where you accumulate advantages, and then in the app you spend those advantages for the battles. Usually it'll either make your losses worse or make your losses less, or you'll get to a point where you eventually gain stuff out of it. Like, it'll start off, like, say you've got in a battle, you're battling in a prairie and you've got 3 prairie, I think it's 3 prairie advantages, whatever. You start off, and initially it's lose 10 soldiers. You spend an advantage, it might be down to, say, lose 5. Then you spend another advantage, all of a sudden you're gaining something out of it. So very unique, very emergent narrative-y. In my number 64, Return to Dark Tower.
Yeah, I've actually looked at this one a few times. I think didn't they re-release it last year or a couple years ago with like the deluxe edition? With all these, maybe these are house
those seem
extra things.
I was gonna say those seem like 3D painted. I don't think that was something that came with the.
Yeah, but I think didn't they re-release it with like a newer tower thing now that like glows in the middle?
Yeah, that's the version I'm talking. That's the version that's on the list. So yeah, there's the glowing tower. Of course, it does swallow up AA batteries, so you do need to be careful of that.
All right, my number 63 is, well, it was 177 last year. So it's dropped down quite a bit because I played it a few times and I kept playing it over and over and over again on my channel, thinking that it's going to inspire Phoenixknight to try this game, which for some reason he refuses to play this game. For some reason, and I don't know why, because it's probably my second favorite baseball game out there. This is a game called Status Pro Baseball, and I don't know why he refuses to play this one. It is so good. It is so good. It's got a great pitcher-batter interface. It's got a ton of variety, and there's tons of really good charts, and there's lefty-righty splits, and you can do it with fast action cards. There's a dice version. There's so many good things to talk about with this game, but I've tried to get Phoenix to try this game, but he just won't do it. And I think it's a hidden gem. Status Pro Baseball, my friend. Try it sometime. You'll like it. I guarantee you'll like it.
I'm a little bit picky about my baseball sims. Plus, I've already got the ones that I'm mostly happy with. I don't want to start learning 5 billion different baseball simulators because I don't want to try to keep them all straight in my head. Yeah. Are you quite through?
You can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink, I guess. Right?
Anyway, my number 63 game is actually the last of the new games to the list tonight. This one's a dungeon crafter that I'm surprised I got into. This one is Super Boss Monster by Brotherwise Games. The nice thing here, and there's actually the artwork is very charming with it. It's got a lot of classic 16-bit-esque artwork to it. The solo mode is actually fairly straightforward, even though I've gotten my head kicked in the solo mode. So you can see even the box looks like an old Super Nintendo cartridge from back in ye olde and ancient times, back when, I was happier and much better looking than I am now. But you're going through, you play as a boss trying to build up your dungeon, make it so the heroes get killed in the dungeon, trying to gain gold, and you're trying to capture them as souls. You have to use loot to lure the heroes in. In my number 63 game, Super Boss Monster by Brotherwise Games.
One I don't own, and I don't know much about this one.
It's a very small game. It doesn't usually take me an hour to get through.
It does have that old 90s look to the graphics, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So if you're looking for a nostalgia game, that's definitely one. My number 62 was actually number 61 last year, so it dropped a whole spot. Must be falling off the list. This is a game, admittedly, that Phoenixknight has decided to bounce off of after giving it several chances. And one of my all-time favorite sports games out there. It is a game called APA Golf. I super enjoy this game, and I think it's really good. It is kind of a beast, and it can be very swingy. You get a couple bad rolls, and a lot of bad results can happen. I will say that I do end up trying to play with the Game Caddy, which is a free online Excel program that'll help you play the game. And you can check out the Game Caddy and find out all the information about that. I would highly recommend, if you are looking to play APA Golf, to get the Game Caddy. And if you play at your computer or play at a tablet or whatever, you can sit down and use the app to kind of help you. The biggest problem I have with APA is, calculating all the distance and everything. And that's what it does. It basically tells you, okay, you hit the ball and this is where it's at. And so you can just go, oh, I'm at the 380 and right 20 mark, and boom, boom, boom. And you don't have to calculate it. It makes the game go a lot faster. So my number 62 bestest game of all time is a classic, APA Golf.
I'm just seeing if I can track it down because it was on my list this year. It's my number 90. And I would be willing to bet that it's not going to be on my list the next time I do this top 100 project.
Probably not. I think you've had your fill of it.
Yeah. Might be looking to move my stuff, but we'll talk about that later. What we will talk about now, however, is my number 62 game, which is down 29 spots. This one's actually a little bit surprised. This one, I wouldn't say it's surprising that it's down, but it's surprising that it was on the list at all, with not being very solo friendly from the looks of it. This one is Foundations of Rome by Arcane Wonders. In this one, you're basically building, well, there's no basically about it. You're building Rome. You've got the various monuments like the Colosseum, the Parthenon. I forget what else is in there. It's actually somewhat of an economic game as well, where you've got to manage your economy, your population tracks. Actually, the last time I played this was when I was at Gen Con earlier this year. It doesn't look to be very solo friendly, though, and it's another one of these games that's actually better at higher player counts. So kind of a dangerous one for me, especially as I'm moving in a more solo direction. My number 62 game, Foundations of Rome.
Yes, you got to look at all those insulated L, insulated square, patio studio. There's tons and tons of them. I am surprised this is on your list, to be honest. This does not seem like a Phoenixknight game. If I maybe because you played it at Gen Con. Um, but I just don't see you playing this game for yourself, like sitting down and playing this one. I bet you this will not make your list next year.
Or, well, next time. But we'll talk about that in the green room, though.
It looks good. I looks like a game I would love. That's why I'm looking at it, because that's like maybe I should just get this from you then, because
I don't know.
You don't own it. Yeah, that's right. You don't own it.
But it's
Yeah,
definitely.
I would definitely be up my alley for sure.
It's
I
definitely.
love civilization, nation building, train building. I love the building part of the games, the puzzling. That's kind of my mojo. Like that's my thing. So
This one's definitely an eye catcher, that's for sure, on the table. But
yeah, and I bet if you like paint all the buildings and make it could be like really, really cool looking game for sure. And I'm surprised we haven't come across one that's like all decked out yet.
It's also probably very expensive.
Probably very expensive. You're probably true there. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it at Noble Knight. The Kickstarter Emperor pledge with the extras, $450.
Okay, well maybe that's why I don't own it.
And I don't think it's going to be much better on the geek market. I'm going to see if I can find it. Well, actually, you've got Board Game Geek up there, so you can just go to the geek market.
I could just go to the geek market. Yeah, we'll look at it later. My number 61 and last one for the day is a new game to the list. This is so good of a game. I played it at my friend's house when I went to Ohio earlier in the year, and then I ended up buying the game and playing it several times. And it is super fun, thematic, cute, quirky game. It's a game called Raising Robots. It's a kind of a wingspan type game where you're putting your robots on the board and then you're activating them and doing all the special abilities. So it's got that engine building thing as you progress through the game. It's got a very unique system for the AI, and plays very good solo. I didn't have a problem playing it at all solo, and I played it several times, and it's just fun, cute artwork, really interesting things. You have a special character. Each of the characters has their own special abilities and powers that you use, and you're basically putting the robots in and trying to like activate them to do cool things with them as you progress through the game. And you need energy to do this, and then depending on how much energy you have, you can get different components. You can get victory points, you can get batteries. There's all kinds of different resources you need to collect to build the robots. And yeah, then each player gets to put in 2 of the different locations that you want to activate. And sometimes if everybody turns in the same locations, you're only activating 2 things. And so you're trying to figure out what your opponent might try to do. There's upgrade, assemble, design, fabricate, and recycle. So you might want to upgrade, but if your opponent needs to upgrade, you don't need to go to upgrade because he'll go to upgrade, which means you'll still be able to do the upgrade action. So there's a lot of like cat and mouse thinking about what you're doing and who needs to do what. And a little engine building and great fun artwork. That's Raising Robots. My number 61 at last for today.
Never got into this one. Just never really crossed my radar. Anyway, my number 61, which is closing us out, which is going to close the show out for tonight, is up 13 spots from the last time I did this project. This is actually a deck building game set in the Star Wars universe. It's Star Wars, the deck building game by Fantasy Flight. To start teaching this one, I'd probably start off with this being a Star Realms clone with Star Wars elements. It's very thematic. Just go the deck building game. It's the one right at the top. But this one is set in the classic trilogy where you've got Darth Vader, you've got Luke Skywalker, and there's actually a unique mechanic in this game where only the respective side could buy the card. Like the Empire could only the Empire could buy Darth Vader. The Rebellion can only buy Han Solo or Chewie, but the other side can actually interact with that. So the Empire can actually get rid of those characters and get some kind of reward for them. So that's actually very unique to it. And rather than
listed on the bottom of the card if the other faction takes them out. Yep.
I don't suppose I would ask if there's a way to flip that upside down, but I don't think there is in your web.
Probably, let's see. Here's what I can do.
Or what you could do, probably can't copy the image to PowerPoint or an image editing program and flip it from there.
Let's see. Let me there. Now let's see if I can rotate. Can I rotate this now?
There should be, without seeing photos, I imagine there's an option in there somewhere where you should be able to rotate it.
Here we go.
So yeah, now you can see here that the other side can actually interact with the card and get a reward for it. And that's actually something very unique to this deck builder in particular, whereas most deck builders won't let you do that. So I think that's a really cool aspect of it. If you know your opponent really needs to get a certain card and you can attack it, take it out, then you just take it out and basically deny your opponent the card. My number 61, Star Wars, the deck building game.
Bring that back in. All right. So we'll go over our list one last time. If you're just joining us, we want to thank you for coming by tonight, and we appreciate it. Don't forget, our next episode will be on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So my number 70 was just a Robin Hood, which was new to the list this year.
My number 70 was Sentinels of the Multiverse, down 30 spots.
My number 69 was Glory Day Boxing, up from 130.
Mine was the first of 6 new games in this section, second season Pro Football by Play Games.
My number 68 was The Board Game, Ticket to Ride. Number was 77, so up about 11 spots.
68 was new for me, Face to the Mat Pro Wrestling by Play Games.
My number 67 was new to me. It was a Finspan.
67, also new to the list, and Horrified World of Monsters.
Number 66 was way up from number 209 all the way down to 66, Agents of Smersh.
66 was G.I. Joe, the deck building game, which is new to my list.
Number 65 was number 80 last year. It's Hit Zeroed.
Number 65, down 31 spots, Fate of the Elder Gods by Greater Than Games.
My number 64, down from number 30, was Apiary, a great medium size Euro game.
My number 64, also new to the list, and Return to Dark Tower by Restoration Games.
My number 63 is probably my second favorite baseball sim out there, Status Pro Baseball.
My number 63 is the last of the new games in this section, Super Boss Monster by Brotherwise Games.
My number 62 was Appa Golf, down 1 spot from number 61 last year.
My number 62, down 29 spots from 2024, Foundations of Rome.
And my last one was number 61, brand new to the list, Raising Robots.
My number 61 is up 13 spots, Star Wars, the deck building game by Fantasy Flight.
Well, there you go. That is another episode in the books. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time. Lots of great games we talked about tonight, and I would highly recommend you check them all out if you're not familiar with the ones that I talked about or the ones Phoenixknight talked about. Some really, really awesome games, and several of the games that he's mentioned that aren't on my games that I don't own that I'm interested in maybe checking out if the price is right. That one game seems a little expensive.
Just a wee teeny tiny little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of really cool minis though. So I think I actually saw that a while ago, and it was expensive then. I can kind of remember that one, but it's yeah. And yeah, that's there's some great games. I had a lot of good time playing with these. Next week is 60 down to 51, and do you realize after next show we'll be halfway done with this already?
Yep.
Time's flying and we're having a great time with it, and we're really getting to the best of the best now coming up here soon. And next week is so many good games. I mean, I'm just looking at my list going like, wow, that's just an amazing list. I'm looking forward to seeing what's on your list come Thursday. Any big more movers and shakers?
We've got some pretty sizable movers and several new games to the list.
I got 4 more new ones coming to the list next week, or next show. 4 more new ones. Unbelievable. They just keep coming. Just keep coming. And so many good ones. There was I have 3 games that were 127, 104, and 113. So like 3 of them ended up going way up the list. Should be an interesting show for sure. Thursday, 8:00 right here for 60 down to 51. And yeah, what do you got coming up? I know we've got some stuff to talk about.
I'm going to be busy on the channel. Tomorrow night, the 2001 season replay and payoff pitch baseball continues, as we'll be at Turner Field in Atlanta, where the Florida Marlins will be playing the Atlanta Braves. We've got a great pitching matchup. A.J. Burnett is on the mound for the Marlins against Greg Maddux for the Braves. Wednesday, the season is going to continue as well, but I'll have more on that during tomorrow night's 7th inning stretch. Saturday, Mystical Munchies is going to wrap out of the official Frozen Cookbook as we're making the drink, Apple Cider Worth Melting For, out of the official Frozen Cookbook. I'll also have Pinot with Phoenix on Saturday. And then next week, we're debuting a new RPG on the channel as we're playing 4 Against Darkness by Ganesha Games.
Did I send that to you?
No.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I sent my copy to you or not.
No.
I still have it somewhere then. I think it's actually in my drawer. I was thinking about sending it, but I think maybe you had already got it by the time we made the last change over.
Yeah, I've actually had it for a while.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try that one. I know I was doing a few of them, D100 and 2D6. There's a couple different ones where you build your own dungeon and get your character to go through it. Yeah. So, I started getting into those and trying out a few of them, and they're great solo ones, for sure. And I want to see your 4 Against Darkness one and check it out. All right. Well, my friend, we will see you on Thursday at 8:00, and not before that. Well, we probably won't be getting together before that, but great lists, and we will see you everyone soon. So thanks for joining us. We hope everyone's safe, taken care of out there with the weather situation. Hopefully it's going to be okay, and by Thursday, everyone will be back to normal.
For the love of God, stay warm too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We're thinking about y'all. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time, Thursday night.